Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on to number 6. So number 6 says the table below shows the number of gallons of gas a car used when traveling a certain number of miles. The relationship between X gallons of gas and Y numbers of miles traveled can be represented by the equation K equals Y over X. Based on the relationship, how far can this car travel on 20 gallons of gas? So if K equals Y over X, we want to figure out 20 gallons. Is gallons your X or your Y? Good, it's your X, and it says it right there. So we're going to pull a ratio from the table, and I generally always start with the first numbers that are in the table because they're usually the smallest, okay? And it says Y over X. So what is our Y value? 280. And what is the X value that goes with that? That would be 10 equals. We want to know, well, what about 20 gallons of gas? Is that going to go on the top or the bottom? Good, it's going to go on the bottom. And then we want to know the miles. So we cross multiply. 10x equals 20 times 280. So when we multiply that, 10x equals 280 times 20. Those are all zeros. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. Okay. And then we want to divide by 10. And x equals 560. So on 20 gallons of gas, we could go 560 miles. Next one. Jennifer purchased a $40 pair of jeans on sale for $30. So it's on sale. This is price after discount. Oops. How much of a discount did Jennifer receive? Okay, so this is what she wants to know, how much the discount she received. So this is where we have change over original equals percent over 100, right? So it's on sale for $30. So $30 is the price that they paid. It's asking for the discount. So what was the discount on this pair of jeans? It was $10, right? So 40 minus 30 equals 10. So this is the discount. So this is what we're talking about. So that's what we're going to use. That was the change. We got $10 off of a $40 pair of jeans for the original price, right? And so it wants to know what is the percent and percents out of 100. Okay, so we can cross multiply and divide that ratio. Just as a reminder, make sure you're reading and trying these problems first. It's honor system, of course, of trying to see if you know what to do and then pressing play to see if you got that correct. So on this one, press pause and you want to read it and see if you know what to do before watching the rest of the video. It says the cafeteria manager surveyed 100 students, about their favorite lunch item, and the results are shown in the table. There are 450 students that purchase lunch from the cafeteria each day. So that's your total. Based on the information in the table, the cafeteria manager predicts that approximately 100 students buy pizza every day. Which statement about her prediction is true? So let's first look at, number of students is 30. So this is just surveyed. How many students were surveyed? You were able to answer that question correctly, then you remember the beginning where it said 100 students were surveyed. So this means that out of 100 students, 30 picked pizza. Well, how would you write that as a ratio? That would be 30 out of 100. Good. It says, well, what if there were 450 students? Okay, so instead of reading her predictions, let's solve the proportion and see if we can get an answer that will help us. Okay. So we have 100x equals 450 times 30. That's 0, 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Okay, 0, 0, 5, 3, 1. So 13,500 divided by 100. So that's taking away 2 decimal places. X equals 135. Okay, so her prediction is invalid. So it's saying invalid because 3/10 of the 450 is 135. Okay, so did we use 3/10? Yes. 30 over 100 does simplify to 3/10. Is 3/10 of 450 135? Yes, it is. And she's saying that approximately 100 students. Well, we got 135, right? Her prediction of 3/10 if 450 is 150. That's not true. 30% of 450 is 100. So 30 over 100, what percent is that? It's 30%. So is 30% of 450 100? No, it's exactly 135. And then it's saying it's valid because 10% of 100 is 10. Well, that's a true statement, but that has nothing to do with our problem, correct? So the answer is A. Number 9. A car traveled 330 miles during a 5.5 hour period. If the speed at which the car traveled can be represented by the equation d equals rt, at what speed was the car traveling? Okay, so it's asking for what speed. That's the rate. Okay, so if we have d equals rt and we're trying to solve for rate, that means we need to get rid of this t, right? So when a letter is next to another letter, it means to multiplication. So the inverse operation to that would be to divide. So we divide by t and divide by t and get that d over t is equal to r. And I did that without any numbers because it has these right here. So by solving for r, I can eliminate this one because it's not t over d. I can eliminate this one because that's not what we're solving for, right? So then I have 2 answer choices, and I've got to figure out, is it 60 or is it 55 miles per hour? Okay, so 330 miles over 5.5 hours is equivalent to I guess I shouldn't draw a line right here, is equivalent to your rate. Okay, so this is your distance, this is your time traveled. So when we divide that, you're going to get your R. So you're either going to get 60 or you're going to get 55. Okay, and last one. A discount store sells dish towels and packages, and the table below shows the relationship between X, the number of packages, and Y, the total number of dish towels. So the relationship between X, the number of packages, and Y, the total number of dish towels, can be expressed in the equation K equals Y over X. Based on this relationship, how many dish towels are in 12 packages? Okay, so you notice 12 is probably somewhere over here, which means if you were drawing your line, it would meet somewhere way up here, right? So it is proportional because it goes through the origin and it is a straight line. So because it's proportional, well, we can set up a proportion. So we're going to grab any number from the table. Okay, and you want it's perfect when it hits the line perfectly like this spot. Okay. And maybe I went to do a smaller dot, so I'm not covering everything. This spot right here. So that's where X is 1 and Y is 8. So that's what I can set up for my ratio. If I have Y over X, we said Y is 8 and X is 1. Okay, and when I went to figure out 12 packages, is 12 packages your X or your Y? Good, 12 is your X. So is that going to go on the top or the bottom? It's going to go on the bottom. And I got to figure out X. So you cross multiply, and X equals 8 times 12. And that will be your answer. And that is it. Make sure you ask questions if you have any.